Diaz Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Here comes another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I said guard. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Today's another one. Bye-ya, bye-ya, bye-ya. I feel like singing all day. Today, we're going to get it in. In a menudo style and direct fashion, I got the passion to be an assassin. Now trip out. Look at the thumbnail. The Perro Chatos, the Fresno Bulldogs have invaded, established, planted their flag in Pelican Bay B Yard. Now we did a video on this. If you guys remember, if you recall, if you're really dedicated, then you understand. It was. I said, are you dedicated, bro? For coffee, we are. And like, we definitely did a video on it, and I told you they had established a B Yard. But I didn't give you the intricacies and the details that I've learned. Now, there's over 35 Bulldogs on B Yard in Pelican Bay. And I asked myself, and a lot of people ask me, well, how is that possible? That the Norteños and the Southside didn't get off where they were mad at, right? Because knowing what I know and playing how I played in the sandbox, I understand that where there's sand, there's mud, right? So people's backs get dusty, back dirty, dusty, bloody, or even muddy, right? So I understand exactly what happens. And then I realized exactly what it is after thinking about it. I thunk about it for a minute or two. So I'm scared. How did the Bulldogs start? How did that happen? I got love for Fresno, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Forever forward, right? So I didn't understand how they did it. And then I realized, well, there ain't no Norteños and Sureños on that yard. Come to find out, every Norteño and Southsider have been shipped off that yard and placed on other yards or shipped to other prisons so that the Bulldogs could establish on that yard. Now, I'm not saying that the Bulldogs are scared and won't get off where they're mad at, because orderly, where there's dog paws, there's dog claws, and they'll handle their business. That's a fact. I've reiterated it over and over and time again. They're a very dangerous group in and out of them walls. I've seen so many videos lately of them getting off. Have you guys seen the one where they got off in Dave & Buster's? Orderly, they got off in Dave & Buster's. To what degree of getting off, I can't call it like an alcoholic. There was a lot of barking and a whole lot of snaking on people. But they did that. They did that. So they'll fight it. That's facts. And they're busted and disgusted. Busting. They're down. Now, to establish on a yard, such a notorious yard such as B Yard, you would think that the CDC had to really think about putting these guys somewhere. But you got to understand, there's a lot of level 4 Bulldogs. There's a lot of Bulldogs out of Fresno County that catch hot ones, catch cases, are doing VDOT, they're doing life without. They're doing the LWAP, and I'm not talking about Burger King, and I'm not talking about wet ass pussy. I mean, they're really doing it. So there has to be a place to place them other than, Wasco or wherever they were putting them. I know they do have perros, like I said, in High Desert before established, and Corcoran. But they decided to open up B Yard to the Perro Chatos. Now, we've been hearing for months that they were integrating several people. And we had heard that they were throwing Bulldogs over and over again, just a few of them on certain yards, and they were getting ran up on, or they were running up on people. Whatever the case may be, vatos were getting laid down. Guard! Yard down, right? The yard was going down, gente. But now it's not. And there's a reason why the yard ain't going down. And having come and been in prison for so long, I can tell you why the yard is not getting laid down quite frequently. It's because it's hard to lay a yard down when it's all lovely, when it's all smooth sailing. Or like Roscoe. Then the yard's all good. When you start to send one group, one entity to one place and you have no enemies, well, it's going to be lovely. It's going to be fun in the sun. It's going to be Clovis Lakes all over again. Because Blackbeards is the place for fun. They done turned it into Blackbeards. That's it. With a whole bunch of Perro Chatos, 35 deep, 35 strong. The movement is real. They're there in a notorious yard such as B Yard, Pelican Bay. But there's no north and south there. So they don't have to stress on the Smith and West. They don't have to worry about making their next move, their best move, because every day they just darn their Winnie the Pooh shit. Gotta get up. The yaba I'm going. I'm gonna do some burpee time. That they're cool. It's easy breezy. There are whites established there actively, as well as Africanos, Sangres, 415ers, Cripas, on Correa, on Power. They're doing their thing. But they're not a threat to the Perro Chatos because there's no animosity there for one reason or another. Now, we know historically the whites are presumed, did I say whites? I meant the Woods, are presumed to have been on an enemy list or to have fought with the Bulldogs. But it depends on what yard you go to. You know, on a yard where there's several Bulldogs, man, just like any other Mexicano group, people ain't trying to just run up on them like that. They're going to let them do their thing. You know, if it comes to guerra, if it comes to that type of animosity and it has to go, then it has to go. Ain't no one going to lay it down in the CDC. Ain't no group going to just hit the panic button and just, you know what I mean, place themselves in the dirt for the most part. There are some, but we'll keep that quiet. It's another spill for another day. But most of them are going to get off. Now, when we heard about the integration a while back, we were hearing that, you know, they were placing everyone everywhere. And we heard about the Bulldogs getting jumped on and all that. What CDC has done is they have slowed down. Slow down. I just want to get to know you. Orale, Bobby Valentino. They slowed down. That's it. They decided there was too much sangre. There was too much bloodshed. It was not going to stop. You know, it can't stop and it won't stop because it don't stop. And so what they decided to do was place them on their own yard. And most of these guys are level 4s or a high-ranking level 3. When I say high-ranking, I don't mean like group organizations. I'm just saying they got high points. You know, they're on the verge. And they brought them all together, and they were able to establish on B yard. I get a lot of Perro Chatos in my DMs. A lot of Vatos talk to me. They show me a lot of respect. Every once in a while, when the wind blows, you know, the wind blows sometimes. Guard! Is the wind blowing over there? It's over here. It's raining and stuff, and the wind's blowing. I get a few of the Perro Chatos that tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I ain't never been to Fresno. And I laugh, and I told them, homie, I used to cruise Kings Canyon. Orale, daily. Let me tell you something. Right? Like in my Fire Marshal Bill voice. I know a little bit about a lot of Fresno Bulldogs. Having done time when they were Norteños at 14ers, I know quite extensively the historia, how they became the Red Wave y todo mal. You know, and I've spoken on that several times. And I got respect for these Vatos just because they've overcome, you know, and the way that their group has been able to prosper. You can't deny the realness in the brown people's eyes. Any fire in the heart that any brown person has, whether it be North, South, or Bulldogs, I respect. You know, I respect I respect on gang. I respect it. Do I respect your gangster? Something I would never say, but I do definitely respect the way they get out. So, Vatos tell me, hey, the homies are pushing over there in B yard. They're doing their thing. And that's not hard, homie, when there's no enemies. See, that's not hard when there's no one to worry about. Like I say, you can get up every morning, go get your little SOS. Yes, real prison SOS. Go get your little SOS on. Go back to the yarda, bust down, tortillana, bust down. Take your little bird bath in the cell or even shower on the yarda. I don't know if I've never been to Pelican Bay, so I don't know if they have showers on the yard. But you could get your shower, you know, your playazo on. You know what I mean? And you can sing, you know, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You're good because no one's going to stab you in the back. No one's going to creep up on you like a creeper baked to the grill. Now they got you in the sleeper because you have no enemies there. Now, I've never been on a yard where there wasn't someone from the opposite side. The other side, that's it. Then Vatos from the other side. You know, every yard I was in, there was always a potential threat. There was always targets. I was a target. You know, it seems like the bigger you are, the harder they're trying to make you fall. Me being a little bit bigger, and I don't look it, but I am. Me being a little bit bigger, and I'm not talking about my pipots, you know, I became a target. I understood that. I would see the way Vatos looked at me like, oh, we're going to get there, Vatos. Look at that buster right there. Right? I understood that. And at the end of the day, the same thing that they were saying, I was already knowing. And believe me, I had a pedazo that was peeking, ready. All I had to do was pull it out like, and just do my thing. So it was a chess game, definitely. And for the most part, it never came to that because there was so much respect amongst the two groups. It just really never came down to that. You know, when I was in YA, I had a lot of north-south incidences. Of course, I went down south, man. They were trying to get me out of there. I was trying to take someone with me. So I understood that. I understood about the game. I understood about guerra. I understood about real wartime and really getting off every single day constantly. I know what it feels like. A lot of the Perro Chatos that were with me, the Bulldogs from them days, they understand exactly what that feels like because not only did they do it simultaneously, side by side, rocking with the North for a long time, then they started doing it against us. And so I was scared. Who won that battle? Well, let's just say the wind blew. Anyways, ongoing wars. Guerra is not a good look for anyone. It slows the process down of the institution. It slows the process down of the yarda and feria. You know, no one can make their money. No one can get their visitas. No one can get their cantina, their packages. And that's all that matters in prison. At the end of the day, all the wars that have been fought, everything, it all comes down to one thing. Nutty butters, right? Vatos just want to kick back, hit them a little carga, size, and eat them some nutty butters, let's say. You let them watch Judge Judy and a Nutty Butter, and vatos are in heaven. Someday we'll be together. I'm going to tell you, everybody has the same hyena in prison. Oh, you didn't know? Look, there's some hyenas right now watching my man's cheating on me. He is. With Little Debbie. Little Debbie's the one. She goes, right? Oh, she got the honey buns, the bagels, and the cranca. She's different. But anyway, so the Bulldogs are Pelican Bay B yard. They are there. Facts. But there's no one else on the yarda with them. I believe CDC has realized that there's too much going on and decided to segregate them again. Now, there are going to be some times that they're going to try to reinstitute this integration because I think it's for the benefit of the CDC. That's the way they see it. Now, I have a theory, and I'm going to give you guys my theory. It's so that they could slam the gente back. The gente fought, starved themselves, went on hunger strikes, wrote all kinds of 602s, did what they needed to do legally to take action, to put out, some type of declaration of we can come together as a gente. Hence the Henda hostilities, we can come together as a people, so that way we can't be slammed back and tortured and, and all our rights taken from us. And they were able to establish that's a great thing. Probably one of the greatest things in the history of the CDC that ever happened when it comes to the convicts. Coming together like that is unprecedented, especially in the state of California where, everything goes along political lines and racial lines. So to have something like that, to have a coming together of real ones, man, it was something we thought we'd never see. And when we seen it, a lot of us that done time was like, oh, we did the Homer Simpson. That's all we could do. Kicked back and ate our Nutty Butters. But look, it happened. And vatos were able to shake the indeterminate shoe. Now, for those of you that never did time in the shoe, an indeterminate is ugly. That means you're never getting out of the shoe. That means there's only two ways out. That's either in a caja or telling on everybody. That's it. Period. If you get a parole day, your parole day comes up, guess what? You get out and you whistle while you work and you kick it with your lady and Tyrone's done, Sancho's out and you're back, Pancho, and everything is good and you're eating comida and you're getting a little Arby's on, and then you get a violation because you get caught with the R, and next thing you know, guess where you're going back to? The zapato, the shoe, indeterminately, forever, because whether you've been validated or, you still owe time to the shoe, whatever it is, if you got an indeterminate, man, you were never coming home or getting out from the shoe to the yarda. They were able to overthrow that, man, and guys got kicked out of the shoe. And it's a lovely thing to be able to give visitas, touch your family, people that haven't touched them for decades. I could only feel for them and say, man, what a great thing, no matter who you are, as long as you're not a weirdo, because them guys should be indeterminate, period. But that's just my own thinking. Now, the Bulldogs didn't take into that agreement. They decided that for no other reason. They were against the grain. They're renegades with this. And they didn't have to. We're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna. Well, then don't. But don't. You don't have to. And they did it. Doesn't mean they're some suckers or some punk. Nah, none of that. What they are is they stood on their four paws and bounced, right? They decided to do their own thing. And that is why I feel the CDC is utilizing them as pawns. They know that these guys are rebellious, they're renegades, and they feel that if they keep throwing them places, eventually over time, that's going to cause chaos. That's going to cause guerra. They're going to be able to come to the board, come to the Congress, and reinstitute slamming people back on indeterminates. That's the game plan. That's the master plan. Oh, you didn't know? Well, now you do, because the gun gave you the knowledge you can't get in college, the game. That's what it's all about. Locking us up as brown men and black men. And why you always say the one's third? When can we be first? You know what I mean? When you wipe the stains off your mustache. That's when. And take showers. Now look. The Bulldogs are on B yard. It's their yard. When a group is established on that yard, it's their yarda. If they were to bring Northerners 10 at a time or Sureños 10 at a time, no doubt these vatos will get off where they're mad at. Facts, 100%, right out the gate. History shows that. But there's too many perro chatos. You know what I mean? They're already there. They're already planted. The only thing that could overthrow their reign on B Yard and Pelican Bay is the CDC, the administration. Because the administration could flip a yard in one day. So I was scared they could take all 30 of those transpack them. Next thing you know, they're over there in Mule Creek wondering where fucking, Sirhan is. It's ugly. They could do whatever they want. And that's just the way the CDC works. But the perros, for those that ask me, are they really on B Yard, really functioning, really active? I mean, as active as they want to be. It's not hard to be active when you have no enemigas. But at the same time, I'm not belittling them or defecating on their characters. They're righteous vatos, really doing their thing. They're just on a yarda all alone. We are not alone. Yes, you are, vato. But I am here with you. Definitely not with me. Can we be friends? Where you from, Fresno? Because you are to the end. Yeah, I know I am. What about you? You know what I mean? Vatos be like, hell no. Oh, hell no. You know, you're from Fresno, I said. So I was scared to what degree of Fresno? We're talking about Clovis and Huron. You know, motherfuckers don't want none of that smoke. All I know is this. Respects to the Perro Chatos for being able to hold a yard down like B-Yard. But again, like I said, there are no Norteños or Sureños there for those that are wondering. And there are 35 active Bulldogs, or maybe even more there. That's facts, you know. So anyways, trip out on this. You know, the homie got at me a Perro Chato the other day, and he was like, hey, bro, we're taking over. And I said, look, bro, look. I believe, right, in real life. I believe it's real gangsterish, you know. I believe and calls it as I sees it. And I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Nothing but love and respects, period, to the Perro Chato Fresno. Stand up. But you can't take over now that there's no one to take it over from. See, the CDC is running the programa, homes. They're going to put you where they want you. I said, just be aware, homeboy, and keep your boots on and laced up. Because you never know when they're going to hit you with the old school Folsom setup, right? They're going to throw a whole bunch of people on that yard that don't like you anymore, and then it's going to be war, man. Everything is done for a reason, gente. You got to understand, in prison, you know, a lot of people like to say it's the same old thing every day, but it's really not, because you don't know what the day's going to entail. See, yesterday you were kicking back playing volleyball. I think tomorrow, you know what I mean? You're leaking. And that's just how it is. What did I do? I see you play volleyball in the woods. Hey, brother, why you always got to say, why you got to bring us into it? You know what I mean? Guard! You know what it is. Anyways, with that being said, I just wanted to throw this out there because, yeah, there are Bulldogs on B-Yard, but there's no north and south. Now, the Africanos are going to get along with everyone because, hey, it ain't none of their business, man. You know, that's one thing about the brothers. That's why the other day when ODM Slim got into my politics, man, and was you know, saying what he said, and respects to that, about the respects ODM for being a man, and the apology is totally accepted, brother. And the realization of the real, and I thank you for that, man, brother. We don't have to carry this on, and I don't like drama, you know. Respects on crib, pumps, facts, you know. But the brothers, like I said, their politics are different, man. They be all up in the yard, chilling, man. You know, wherever they go, wherever they lay their head, they're like Rolling Stones, where they lay their head, their hat, their home, you know. Orale, you know, David Ruffin, they're doing their thing. I didn't say McMuffin, I said David Ruffin. They get to go kick it. And their game is ran a little bit different. So they'll go on the yard with Bulldogs. They'll go on the yard with Southsiders, with Norteños, you know, and they'll do their thing. And they got the wigglization room because, you know, they're not brown, homes. It doesn't involve them. That's why, you know, I get mad when I hear other people speak on other people's politics. Like, come on, brother. You know, I mean, you guys rock differently, man. You guys are cool with everyone. You know, how are you going to sit here and talk shit about somebody, man, when you know damn well, man, you function in the yard with everyone, cool, you know, it's respects. That's just my take on it. Anyways, so for those that asked me, you know, because I got asked personally to do this bill like I do all the time, are there Bulldogs on B-Yard really gun? I heard you said it, but I can't call it like I call it. Yes, there are, but there's no one else to rumble with. So they're going to stay established, I'm sure. They're going to accumulate numbers, and they're a hard foe. You know, anyone that's ever been on yards with Bulldogs, you know, most people have not walked the yards in prison with Bulldogs just based on, they've been probably in oils or shoes with them, but haven't been on the yards because they're segregated from north and south, most places for a lot of years. Maybe back in the days, Simon, but, you know, since the late 90s, they've been segregated, you know. But I will tell you, they're a dangerous group, man. You know, they're just like any other brown man. They're quick to pick up the steel and handle their business. Anyways, with that being said, man, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I'll give you a little fletcher, a little game, you know, a little comedy. It is what it is. We're going to do what we does, because right here on Gunners Collective, I'm going to continue that strive and struggle because I struggle to strive. And you know what that is. That equals realness. With that being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want. Stop being lazy. I hate lazy people, you know. Hit me with that thumbs up. See, it didn't take too much. You just went like that. Or the thumbs down. If it's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and honestly struggle for what I truly believe in, and that's the coming together of all people. There's a reason why I show love to everyone. I don't like speaking on group names just to say it, but it needs to be spoken on, man. All these vatos in there need our help as gente. Yes, they might have been involved in gangs. Yes, they might have done some bad in their life. But they're human beings, no matter what color of flag that they rock. It's all good on my block. This is the gun. Bang, bang, in that fashion.